Good afternoon, everybody. Here we are coming in from the family sports team at the St. Louis Arc. It's time for our Tuesday Q&A, and you are in for a treat because we have got probably the biggest panel we've ever had here. The leisure team has come out in force to share with you everything you can do to have some fun coming up in this next spring and summer months. We do have a big crew today. I'm going to ask each of them to do a quick introduction of who they are and what their role is at the ARC and kind of their ARC history. So Rhonda, I'm going to turn to you first.
Thank you for all being here. My name's Rhonda Hembry. I'm the Director of Leisure Services, and I started in 1991 as a very young intern and have just enjoyed my experience this past 32 years of being in the leisure department.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kelly Foster. I'm the Assistant Director of Leisure Services, and I've just celebrated my 1-year anniversary a couple of weeks ago. Before coming to the ARC, I was working in another agency with the same population, so I'm excited to be here today.
My name is Clinton Hall. I'm a coordinator of leisure services here at the St. Louis ARC. I have been with the agency since 2015. I started as a seasonal staff in one of our summer employment projects, and then later transitioned into this coordinator role. Currently, I oversee our monthly dances, our cooking classes, our yoga and meditation program, our Saturday basketball and soccer programs, as well as our Neighborhood Experiences project, which I'll be telling you more about here before too long.
I am Bree Reyes. I have been with the St. Louis ARC on and off since 2016. I started out as a leisure intern during the summer, got to stick around in the residential department as a support manager in one of our community homes, left for a little bit, and came back around because I couldn't stay away and got an awesome job with the Leisure Services Department. I coordinate a variety of different programs, bowling, book club, ARC Escapes, softball, golf.
I am Dan Carell. I started in the ARC about 8 years ago. I started in residential, and then I've been with the leisure department for about 7 years. And I do all the inclusion programs. Right now we have softball, soccer, basketball, and we're going to be starting pickleball and bowling. And I also do the walking club during the spring and fall.
Hello, my name is Sarah Ballens. I'm one of the leisure coordinators. I started at ARC last April, so it's almost my 1-year anniversary. Before that, I worked in after schools and informal science education. So it's a little bit different, but I volunteered with people with disabilities my whole life since my sister has Down syndrome. So it's a little bit about me. And I coordinate the R&R camping program, Artist in You, in person and virtual. Adult music, ukulele, virtual weekday fun day.
You guys have so many awesome offerings. So I think what we're going to do today is a little bit unusual. Is we're just going to do a round robin where each of you gets some time to talk about your programs. Is there anybody that wants to start us off and then pass to the next person? All right, Clinton, way to be brave.
So this afternoon, I just wanted to give you all some more information about our Neighborhood Experiences project. So Neighborhood Experiences is an 8-week youth employment training project that takes place during the summer, where we help the teens ages 13 to 20 that participate with us work on skills with the hopes that, one day those skills will help them become competitively employed. So kind of how we do this is during the first of the 8 weeks, the teens work with the staff that they are partnered with for the summer to kind of solidify a schedule of volunteer sites throughout the community that they will go and work at for the remaining 7 weeks in the project. So Monday through Thursday, once that volunteer schedule gets set, we are volunteering in the morning and in the afternoon for about 2 hours with a break in there for lunch. And then Fridays are kind of what we call our fun Fridays. So the mornings are geared towards either a group volunteer project or some kind of educational tour with neighborhood experiences as a larger group. And then Fridays are our fun recreation times. So just some kind of key points to note with neighborhood experiences. To be eligible for participation, you do have to be between the ages of 13 to 20 years old. You do have to have a diagnosis of a developmental or intellectual disability, reside within St. Louis County or St. Louis City, as well as be returning to school in the fall. Kind of one other important piece to note is that our typical kind of staff to participant ratio is 1 staff to 2 teens. We do offer 1-to-1 ratios within the project. However, our 1-to-1 within neighborhood experiences is not more so for higher behavioral or maybe medical or personal care support needs. That 1-to-1 role within neighborhood is for that staff to help the teen that they're paired with really have a kind of more individualized focus on really working on finding that competitive employment through participation in the summer. So that's kind of where our more so 1-to-1, roles lie within neighborhood. If you or your son or daughter, friend, family, whoever that might be, if this sounds interesting to you, please feel free to reach out to me, with any questions or, to get more information or to just speak with me personally about neighborhood experiences.
One of my favorite things about neighborhood has always been the wrap up where all the teens are able to create their own resume and digital portfolio of their experiences. So what's your favorite part of it, Clinton?
I think really my favorite piece of neighborhood experiences is kind of seeing the growth that takes place within those teens who participate. 8 weeks is really not a huge amount of time in the grand scheme of things, but we really do see quite a big change, in those teens and kind of where they start out with us at the beginning of the summer and kind of where they end, at the end of the project.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. It's one of the most exciting programs I've been involved in at the ARC. So congratulations that you get to run that this year.
I am going to be talking in relation to the ARC Escapes program, a little tidbit on that, softball and golf. So throw it out with, is anyone looking for a weekend getaway? ARC Escapes is the perfect program if you're looking to travel to new places, get some experiences unlike any other. We do have our St. Louis staycation trip coming up at the end of April. So if anyone might be a little nervous or a first-time traveler, this is a great segue into seeing if this is a good fit for yourself and wanting to branch out into various places around the Midwest area. With our ARC Escapes program, it is a 1-to-2 to 1-to-3 ratio in terms of the staff that we have versus the travelers that come with us. All travelers must be independent in personal care needs, able to administer any needed medications throughout the weekend, and you do stay in another hotel room with another participant while on the trip. 3 staff are usually on each trip, and we have about 6 travelers per trip as well. So lots of things to do. We do a variety of amusement parks, going out to eat at local restaurants. I know we've gone to different sporting events, circus shows, all the things that you can kind of think of to make it a really wonderful and memorable weekend. If you are interested or want some more details in regards to pricing or anything of that nature, please feel free to reach out. The Rec Council also helps with financial assistance. There's the word I was looking for. Should anyone be interested in looking into that voucher, I do have the information to give to you as well if that would be something that you're interested in looking into. So that's a little bit about ARC Escapes and that staycation.
I just wanted to ask, with Arc Escapes, is that limited to certain counties or is it open to anyone?
It is open. So the Rec Council we have our city, county, and St. Charles that all kind of work within the Rec Council in regards to vouchers who might be interested, and anyone kind of from those 3 areas of St. Louis Metro.
Everybody can do an Arc Escapes. There is funding in the counties that Bree had talked about, but if you're able to private pay it fully, anyone, anywhere can go on one of our Arc Escapes trips.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, I think it's nice that there is an option to get some support financially. It's not required that you go through that process, but if you haven't looked at the Recreation Council, recreationcouncil.org, at their website, at their voucher programs, there's a lot of great opportunities there to minimize some of your costs. So let's say if I am able to take my medications, but I might be somewhat forgetful. Is that something that you could work with me and my family to figure out, like a schedule or something like that?
Absolutely. So any new travelers that kind of come on our trips, we do have a traveler information form that we send out just to get to know who the traveler is a little bit better, make sure that we can ease any sort of anxieties that might come with traveling. Being away from home, being out of that comfort zone, it gets me a little nervous too sometimes if I'm going somewhere new. So that's a way for us to kind of learn what accommodations might be needed, if someone needs some reminders around those medication times, things like that. So we got great staff that come with us and are happy to assist any way that we can. Then I'll segue into softball and golf just super quick. Softball and golf, they're 2 programs that have been around the ARC for many years. They're new under kind of my direction. If you've done it in the past, you are familiar with Dan and him doing those in years past. I'm taking over this year. So softball, we have a variety of teams that play at Kirkwood Park, Love Park, and Vatterott Park, just kind of different areas throughout. And we are going for 8 weeks this summer with a tournament to round out the end of the season. So that's always fun to gear up for. If you're looking to play some summer ball, please reach out. Let me know if you're interested. We'd love to have you out for the summer. Softball, we got a little bit of competition teams, but it's all for the fun. I'll let Dean kind of talk to you more about that ARC United softball for our competitors out there. So if you're just looking for some fun summer ball, definitely give me a call to sign up for one of our softball teams that play again at Kirkwood Park, Vatterott Park, or Love Park. Golf, we also have at Creve Coeur Golf Course. So they're in the Olivet Creve Coeur area. And we will have a tournament at that one at the end of the summer. You can be an amateur player. If you're like me and have never swung a club in your life, you're still able to come and learn all the things. We have a wonderful golf program leader and multiple volunteers who have played golf for many, many years. So they're able to teach you different techniques, help you with your game if you've played before, or kind of teach you the ropes of the game if you're like me and have never played and just like to drive the golf cart around the golf course. But it's a good time for all. So we definitely want to encourage you guys to try a new sport this summer. Get out, make some new friends, spend your summer nights with us at St. Louis Arc Leisure.
And are there any eligibility requirements for sports with you, Bree?
With softball and golf, I believe everyone is eligible. Is that correct, Rhonda and Kelly? Am I getting the
18 and up?
18 and up, yes. Thank you, Sharon, yes.
Well,
for both. That would be for both softball and golf.
I'm excited that you're going to get to go try out some of those ARC Escapes this year. It's been too long since we've been able to have vacations. And one thing that I like about that program that I want to highlight is sometimes we have people that sign up that want to go with a friend. And so they coordinate, so they sign up for the same weekend. And I think that's such a nice way to be able to go off and do something with a friend, but also meet new people and push yourself a little bit to be independent. So I'm glad that you're heading back. Do you have any previews of destinations other than the staycation?
We have the staycation. A couple of our trips are full. So we have a wait list, which is exciting to see. We're excited that this program is, coming back in full swing. That means we'll just be looking at super fun expansions for the following year. But we have our staycation, our Tulsa, Oklahoma trip in June, our Springfield, Illinois trip in September, and our Branson, Missouri trip in November. So just because there's a wait list for some of those, I still highly encourage anyone who's interested to get yourself registered, get on that wait list. You never know what happens between now and, say, the Branson trip in November, and you very well may be able to go.
Love it. Thank you. Rhonda, did you want to add something?
I just wanted to say some of the trips that we've been on in the past is like Dolly World, Louisville, Kentucky, Cincinnati, just some really fun places, and people having some really good times. I get to see the pictures and I'm just like, wow, that is fun. I want to be there.
I'm going to throw it to Dan so we can talk about our awesome ARC United sports for this summer.
Again, I'm Dan, and I do a lot of the inclusion programs. If you don't know what inclusion is, our inclusion sports is for all abilities. It's for people with and without disabilities that we play out in the community. We're doing softball this summer. We're doing pickleball clinics, and we're also doing a bowling league. Our softball clinics are going to be out at Clayton Park on Sunday nights, and they go for 8 weeks. It's for people, like I said, for people with and without disabilities. So if you're a community athlete, we call those people people without disabilities. We have room for them. And our ARC athletes, we have still room for all 3 sessions. Our next one is June 6th. That one is also at Clayton Park on a Tuesday night, and that will be doubleheader games. Those are 2 games in one night. So you may play at 6 and 7 o'clock or 7 and 8 o'clock. Lastly, we have starting July 14th at Kirkwood Park. Those are doubleheaders also. With our pickleball clinic, we have 2 dates that we're going to be doing those on, June 3rd and also August 5th. The pickleball clinic, we decided to do it that way. Pickleball is becoming a fast-growing sport. Me personally, I do not know how to play pickleball, and we wanted to make this an opportunity for people who have never picked up a paddle or played pickleball to learn the basics, how to serve, how to dink, what the kitchen is, how to score. Yeah, I know I'm looking at Sharon's face and it's like, I don't know what that is, but
I'm going to learn so much. I signed up for the clinic, and you can too, everybody.
Yep. So we're going to learn those different skills. If you played pickleball, we would definitely love to have you out. We're looking for community athletes to help out, to teach us, if you played pickleball, how to serve, how to score. I heard scoring is a little bit hard with pickleball. So we're also going to do bowling, a bowling league. We're going to join the West County Bowling Alley League. That will start June 13th on Tuesday nights, and it'll go for 12 weeks long. So we're going to have our community athletes paired with our ARC athletes playing in a league out at West County Bowling Alley. So get your applications in, because the bowling league is filling up quickly.
Dan, we've got a question about where the pickleball clinics are going to be.
Pickleball is going to be held at Veta Concord off of Tesson Ferry. Veta has like 5 or 6 courts out there. We're gonna have 4 courts with like 6 to 7 people on them, learning how to play pickleball. So it's from 1 to 3 on June 3rd and August 5th. So,
I think a lot of times people wonder, why would a person without a disability want to be a part of a United Sports League? And I have my answer for that, but I'm curious, and I'm going to ask you, Dan, but I know some of you have also played on United teams, so feel free to raise your hand if you want to also participate in this answer. But Dan, why do you think, what do they get out of it, the community athletes?
They're building friendships out in the community, not just our participants that they've known for a while. They're playing against teams and leagues out in the community that they've maybe never met before. So we're playing against in softball just the community leagues at Clayton Park, at the teams at Kirkwood Park. So it just builds our relationships with the community even more, and with our other participants and our community athletes.
What I find fascinating is the community is so welcoming now with the Arc United Sports. We tried this in 1992 and we played at Veta at the soccer dome, and we only did one season. And it went well enough. We had fun. The participants had fun, but the community wasn't as welcoming as we would have liked. And the participants didn't sign up again the next time. So fast forward to 2012 and we start the indoor soccer again. We thought we'd give it another go. We did one session and we didn't go back because we're seasonal. We had another sport we were going to. And the Veta sports team or the Veta facility called us and said, is everything okay? Did we do anything wrong? All the teams are asking for you. Is it all right? And so then we knew then was like, oh, okay, we are going to continue to do this. So, and then that just sparked the Arc United softball, Arc United basketball league, and indoor soccer. And so now we are going to expand it to pickleball. We're going to expand it to bowling and start looking at some other things. Why do I do it? I just love people. I love hanging out with people that think I'm funny and I think they're funny, and learning a new skill and being social. I'm very social, so I really get a whole lot out of any kind of new interest, sport, anything. So, I mean, I did ukulele club, our ukulele club, because I thought, I don't play ukulele. I'm going to try this. Everything that we do, everybody else does. We have somebody that has an interest in everything that we provide. So, and I do want to let you know that all of our programs outside of neighborhood experiences and R&R camp is open to anyone, any sibling, any parent, anybody who wants to sign up for any of our programs, they can. We're very welcoming on that end as well. But the thing about the Arc United is we're actually in a recreational community softball league with other teams that don't have people with disabilities on them. We're the only one. So that makes it kind of really unique, and we're very excited to be able to provide that for all of our participants.
I sat in, watched the basketball, Arc United basketball last week, and what I took away from it was it really embodied team spirit to me, because I just felt like it was one of the most generous games of basketball I'd ever seen. You know, sometimes they're always, giving the Jamie Tarts of the world a hard time for not passing to your co-player and all these things, and everybody was looking for the other person that they could pass to, that could get an opportunity to take a shot. And for somebody like me who is not at all sporty, it makes me feel a little bit more comfortable to walk into that space and try something new. And I think all of us want that knowledge that we're going to go to a space and feel well supported. So if you are thinking about trying a new sport and you've not thought about being on a United League, this is an opportunity to do that. I hope you'll think about that.
Again, Sharon, I mean, with basketball, we have a husband and wife that are playing. We have two father and sons that are playing. In our soccer, we have mom and dad and son playing in our soccer league. And we also have sisters playing in our soccer league. So it's there for everybody. You can have your brothers, sisters play. So it's for everybody.
That's a great thing to point out too, because I do think sometimes you don't get a chance to do something fun with your family member with a disability. And so being able to join a space that was designed for everybody can really give you that space. So cool. Thank you. Sarah, I don't want to cut your time short. Let's get in and hear about your programs.
Yeah, so this summer I'll be coordinating adult music, Artist in You, and Cooking for Comfort. Artist in You is maybe one of my favorite programs just because I like to do art. And it's just really calming. We meet at Center of Clayton on Monday nights from 6:30 to 8. I believe it's full for the summer, but you're always welcome to join our wait list. And then the program repeats in the fall. So even if you don't get in this summer, you can join us in the fall. And it's led by one of our local artists in St. Louis. And we just do different art projects. And that this summer, it'll just be in person at the Center of Clayton. Adult music we have here in the office. We have Monday nights at 6:30 to 7:15 and Thursday mornings from 10 to 10:45. It's led by Music Therapy STL, and participants will learn different songs. They do different warm-ups. They'll play different instruments. This past session, they made their own song, which was really cool. So we have 2 sessions of that. And then we have Cooking for Comfort, which is also in the office. In our program ops room, we have different ovens and lots of different cooking equipment. And we have 2 sessions, one at 4:30 on Monday nights and one at 6:30 on Monday nights. And those are also full, but you're always welcome to, again, join the wait list and register for the fall as well. It's taught by one of our local chefs, and they just make different healthy options. Sometimes they'll do sweets. And so it's really learning those independent skills, independent living skills. So it's also really fun. I also coordinate on our camp, which is very different from the rest of our programs. It's for ages 7 through senior citizen. You have to live in St. Louis County, and it's a weekend camping program. If you have specific questions, you can reach out.
Well, I'm going to ask a quick question about R&R because it is always full, because it's such a unique space. It's a camp where you're going to get one-on-one or one-on-two support in a camp environment, and it's designed for people that really do have more significant support needs. So my question is, even though that camp doesn't start till September, when is the best time for me to reach out and find out if there's a spot for me?
Sure. So you can reach out at any time, and I'll add your contact information to my contact spreadsheet. And then I'll reach out in July is when we start the registration process. So we do need a registration from everyone. Just because you send in a registration does not mean that you're guaranteed a spot. Does that answer your question, Sharon?
It does. And we have a question about if it is only for county residents.
It is, just because our funding sources. So yeah, it's $300 for 3 weekends throughout the season. And that's not a lot of money. And then we have different funding sources that kind of fill those gaps. So it is unfortunately only for county.
I'm going to ask this generically, but maybe Kelly and Rhonda, you guys can think about it. If I'm, would like to be involved in R&R camp, or maybe I want to try Artist in You, but I'm just not sure it's going to be a good match for me. What are my options before I plunk down my money?
I know for R&R camp, we'll do an intake meeting. So we'll talk more about the program, and I meet the participant. We talk about what different things there are. Talk to one person, they're like, hated going outside. I'm like, oh, well, if you hate the outdoors, this probably isn't for you. And so I know for R&R camp, we meet and we chat about support needs and interests and all of those things. So
yeah, and I would just add to that, our coordinators are always available to discuss whatever the needs or concerns are before we have a whole kind of season of registration before you actually have to make that decision. I would say reach out as soon as possible. If you have questions that you want answered, we can definitely talk and even meet if necessary.
If a program's already started, is there ever a chance where I could just come and try it out once?
We have done that in the past. I was going to say for R&R camp, we've even set up where the parent and the participant come to camp while there's a camp going on and walk around Wyman and do camp tour, just so they can see what it's like before they sign up. And then for anyone who does sign up and they're not sure they're going to like it, and then they pull out, we will definitely refund the money. That's not anything that we cannot do. So we've done that quite often, where the person gets involved and they just don't like it. So they decide that they don't want to do it, and then we refund them the money. And for can you try it out? We have so many limited class sizes. So there's a few programs that is hard to try out, but they could come and look at it. But they could try out like a bowling program, or they could go to dances, or they could go watch softball, they could go watch basketball. We could give them the schedule and things like that. We've done that in the past too. But since we are getting more and more of our programs full with waiting lists, it's kind of hard unless they call, we set it up, and we could do something like that. So
we have another question about camps, of whether we offer any type of camp for adults that's not a vacation, but more of a camping program. But why don't you guys talk about kind of your friends at the Recreation Council briefly?
So the Recreation Council is a great resource and referral for us and for all other programs out there in St. Louis. If you are a participant or a parent or a caregiver of a child who needs recreation for someone under 18 or 13, the Recreation Council is the place you want to go. They know where all the summer camps are. They know other programs that serve maybe the niche that you're looking for. You want a 12-year-old in a soccer program. They have it for you. But another good thing about the Recreation Council is they provide vouchers. So each one of them does. The City Recreation Council, the St. Charles Recreation Council, and the St. Louis County Recreation Council will provide up to 90% off the program fee. And so you will register for our programs, but then you would apply for a voucher from the Rec Council, and they pay up to 90%, and then you would only pay the remaining 10%. So if it's $110 for music, they pay the 90%, and then you only pay us $11. So it's a phenomenal funding source. We do have financial assistance, but we can't take off 90% of the program fee. Even if you were even having problems with that 10%, we can definitely help cover that as well. So the Recreation Council also has the Adventure Voucher Program that allows you up to $730 in St. Louis County to go on a vacation on one of our Arc Escapes trips. And then I know St. Charles and the city also have that. I don't know if it's as much as 730, but it's pretty close to it. Recreation Council is like, we're sisters, our partner organization, and we love everybody over there. So if anyone wanted to call me or talk to me about how to get involved in the Recreation Council, please do. I have their phone number ingrained in my head for 30 years. So yeah.
Yeah, and they are very responsive. They've got a different person that organizes each county, and they're super knowledgeable, super connected, and always available. So that's great to hear about them. So we have a question about spectator sports. Do you guys ever organize anything to go see our new SC City team or the Battlehawks?
So yes, we do have a program that I don't think we mentioned, St. Louis Scene, where we might do some more of those larger sporting events, or just other, in the community activities, visiting the zoo or Wild Lights and botanical gardens, things like that. So we don't have that on the schedule as of now, but that would be a program that we would offer that.
And then we haven't offered it for the last 3 years, but we do have our family participant fundraisers, our ARC fundraisers, where we will go to the St. Louis Cardinals, the Blues,
So that's my lead into my next question, which is you guys have talked about so many programs, and that's really just hitting the surface. If you go to our website, you can see the digital recreation brochure and see all the many programs that they have to offer. A lot of the programs you said we're full already. So how do you decide? You've got a limited number of staff. How do you decide what to prioritize, whether to expand cooking or add a pickleball clinic? How do you find out what families and participants want?
We are definitely paying attention. I will say that, we value the opinion and the feedback of our participants and their families. And, we're hands on the ground. Our coordinators are at programs. We're getting feedback, but we're also doing surveys. So each year we're getting surveys back. We're finding out what people are interested in that we're doing and the things that we're not doing that they're interested in. We just got some feedback recently about some new programs that are coming up. Pickleball is one of those things that in the past has been something that folks are wanting to do. So if you are interested in things that we are not currently offering, we're open to that. We're always looking to expand and to just do more of the things that our participants like to do. So we are listening. And I do want to say this one thing too. With all the programs that you just talked about and we all explained, none of that could be possible without this large group of volunteers that we rely on to help make our programs possible. And so if I could do any one push, I would do, if you're interested in learning more, even if you don't think, if you have a son or daughter that might be interested in programs, but you want to see them first, volunteer. We have so many people that have started off as volunteers. Then they may have gotten involved in our programs as community athletes or just as participants, but we're always looking for volunteers.
What an excellent plug. And you guys really have some of I'm sure you have the longest volunteers that the agency has, because you've had some coaches that have been in place for over 30 years. It was amazing to me when I was at that basketball game last week to see some of the people that I hadn't seen in a long time, and they were still right there, engaged with the game and really involved. So what about jobs? You mentioned some summer programming.
Yeah, so we are currently hiring for the Neighborhood Experiences Project. So, if you, friend, son, daughter, are maybe out of school or have a extended break from, a different job, we would love to have you come out and join us and work with us this summer.
And I think if I was going to work for you, sorry, Clinton, I would probably go the camp route and go work for Sarah, because what a cool job that is. Sarah, I know you're not hiring this second, but it'll be here before we know it. Mm-hmm. Tell us about the life of a camp counselor at the ARC.
Yeah, so I'll start hiring for camp counselors in July. So keep your eyes peeled starting in July for that. R&R camp counselors come to Camp Wyman in Eureka, Missouri at 6 o'clock. We'll have a meeting, talk about what's coming up. This year we've had lots of guest speakers, which is really cool, and volunteers coming out to camp as well. So if you're unsure, you can also sign up as a volunteer for camp, and you'll be supporting 1 or 2 campers. So you'll get a folder with their information, so you know like a little bit about them before they come to camp, and then you'll be hanging out with them for the rest of the weekend until Sunday at 4 o'clock. You'll be helping them make the decisions of what they want to participate in, encouraging the independent living skills, meeting their goals, meeting other campers and making new friends, trying different experiences. We have lots of sports and games and crafts and guest speakers and karaoke and dancing and all of the things. So that's a little bit about our camp counselors. So we'll have 27 staff for next fall. So it runs September through April.
And those positions are paid through a weekend stipend, right? So it's sort of a flat dollar amount. I think it's a very worthwhile way. And if you are in school trying to become a professional that might interface with people with disabilities, what a great opportunity to get some hands-on experience. Rhonda.
I do want to say that this is our 40th anniversary for R&R Camp starting next season. So we're going to have a big celebration out at camp for 40 years. And it is not our oldest programs. Our two oldest programs were founded by parents and participants such as yourself that's on this call. But back in the 1950s, those families wanted recreation for their sons and daughters. And a lot of it was bowling and dances and softball and basketball and soccer. And so bowling and dances are probably right up there, 70 years. And bowling is right behind softball and soccer and basketball is right behind them. Like they're 45, 50. I need to look at our anniversary dates again, but so we've been around for a very, very long time. We've been doing this for a very, very long time. And it is, like Kelly said, all the great feedback from the parents and participants that make us who we are today and has built these programs. And this is where we are now with 30 different types of variety of programs just because of people like you that are on this call. So thank you so much.